AI, artificial intelligence, is a top issue for lawmakers in Tallahassee. It's the first time the Capitol has launched an AI-themed agenda. But the state's push to regulate AI is at odds with the White House. Take a look. Artificial intelligence seems to be everywhere. It's in tech devices, cars, healthcare, finance, customer service. The list goes on and on. But now lawmakers in Florida and other states are trying to build roadmaps for AI. But the Trump administration insists the rules should be written at the federal level, saying the president will issue an executive order to block states from crafting their own AI regulation if necessary.
When they need approvals of things, they have to come to one source. They can't go to California, New York. But if they had to get 50 different approvals from 50 different states, you can forget it because it's not possible to do.
Meanwhile, Governor Ron DeSantis is urging lawmakers to push ahead with what he calls an AI Bill of Rights.
We will never, ever be able to credibly shed ourselves of our responsibility to think for ourselves. We cannot turn it all over to machines and think it's all going to work out great in the end.
The DeSantis plan would add guardrails around AI, including parental controls for minors, limits on commercial use of a person's name, image, and likeness, and require clear or obvious notification when consumers are interacting with AI chatbots. The proposal also bars utilities from raising rates to support energy-hungry data centers and blocks taxpayer subsidies for their construction. So far, the AI measures have broad bipartisan support in Tallahassee and are likely headed to vote during January's legislative session. Jacob, I'd like to start this one with you. Where do you think this is going to land? Do you think it's going to go anywhere?
Oh, I mean, Florida has done a lot in the past. I think of when they try to protect minors on social media. Mm-hmm. And I think about that like big tech regulation that Florida tried to do and how that got strung up in lawsuits. And I can envision something similar happening here. But also, Florida has already kind of been at the forefront of trying to regulate AI. Lawmakers filed bills in past legislative sessions to stop AI in political ads. Mm-hmm. There was also legislation filed to stop deepfakes, with sexual content without obviously express permission. So they've made some moves in this. I think kind of trying to, when it gets to parental control and things of that nature, these are familiar themes that we've seen before, and a lot of it leads to a lot of litigation and takes years for us to actually see some kind of change.
But it's an arena that lawmakers in Florida have been in for a while now. Kim, tell me your opinion on this.
Well, recently we did an entire luncheon panel devoted to AI at Tampa Tiger Bay Club in November because AI is here. It's now, it's being used. Mm-hmm. We are a groundbreaker in Florida as far as our educational institutions. USS has had a whole college devoted to it and will continue to grow that. I do think it merits and warrants some management. And I recently caught a program on another network about a young woman interacting with a chatbot, which ended up leading to her suicide. So there are dangers in the AI world.
There are ethical concerns, yes, and that's one of the reasons why supporters of this bill say that it's important to do this. The other thing, Patrick, that I've looked at is there's also a bill under consideration that would cut the opportunity to use AI by the insurance company to decide claims. That one, as a hurricane survivor, is extremely scary to me to think that AI, that's even a possibility. What are some of the other pitfalls that should be, if they're going to tackle this, what are some of the other areas they should really be looking at?
Grading papers in schools. There's a whole list. I mean, for the federal government to say that it should have one blanket rules over AI is very odd, considering they believe that every state should have its own rules about abortion. But the reality is the state regulates insurance. So the state needs to have AI rules regarding insurance. State regulates the electric company, so we're going to have rules about that. We regulate our schools, so we're going to have rules about that. To me, the biggest scary part about the AI issue is the cost to consumers. 20% of our future electric needs are going to be driven by AI data centers, and to think that we're going to have to pay for these things in front as consumers, so somebody can make a lot of money on AI. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and so I'm glad that that's part of this bill. But yeah, I mean, you know, we should know when AI is involved in anything. Reporters should let it know if they're using this to be part of their story. And so if your paper's being graded by AI, then I think you should know it, that a teacher did not do it.
And one of the things that we hear from young professional organizations that are affiliated with the chambers across the region is that automation is being basically replacing a lot of these entry-level jobs where they start their careers, and so there's a lot of concern about how AI is changing the workforce.
We even just had a case in Oviedo, Florida, near Orlando, where we shut down a school because an AI program that looked through the cameras to determine if kids had guns at school thought a clarinet was a rifle. And we shut down a school for it. I mean, you know, this is kind of a silly thing that we're doing here. We're getting way ahead of the proof that this works all the time.
There's also the veracity of it. I mean, one day I just Googled a historical event that I actually knew the answer to. And I Googled it using the AI to that event, and the answer that was presented to me was totally inaccurate. That is not what happened at all. So, but I'm one of those people that investigate, drill down, knew the answer.
Yeah, where's the source of this information?
But other people don't do that.
And it is very difficult. I mean, Jakob, I'm sure the reporters at Axios, where you're looking at information and you're now wondering, how legitimate is this source? Even when there's a source that's named, you're always wondering, is it accurate?
No, definitely. And I think, you know, looking all around, you know, it wasn't so long ago that I was in school myself, and it's like, you know, there's been a lot of discussion, like with laptops, putting laptops in schools, and in the end, right, trying to implement all this technology. Like, are the results actually there? And that would be my broader question. I think there's a rush to incorporate AI in the classroom, a rush to incorporate, but like a lot of what needs to be taught, I think, and what young professionals need to know are something that they can't like get from AI. I think AI could be a tool that can be leveraged,
a helper.
But I think when it replaces human thought, I think that's where it becomes a problem.